So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna take all of these little pinch welds that I just cut off, made it straight, I did that off tape. I'm going to take it, use this vice grip that I got from Harbor Freight, clamp it down throughout this whole seam, all the way down to these pinch welds that I just cut off and those little seams with seam sealer. And after that, I will put Bondo on it and smooth it up, grind it down, do whatever. What I'm going to do now is take my trusty flap disc, take this seam, grind all the remaining metal off of the top and the bottom, because quite honestly, it's pretty nasty. And I'm not trying to run my fingers on there and cut it open. I don't have the money to go to the ER. So I'll do that right now.
the seam. It's pretty cleaned up. It's not as dirty. Whole way across. Don't really feel much for those areas like this that I just can't get the angle grinder in. A little bit of lip right there. Not bad, not bad. Lip right there. Not bad. Clean up this area and where was it? Right there. Very good. Perfect. A little bit of mud, and that control will be happy.
See if I can't remove these clips. So now we've got everything ground down for the most part. Had to take a little thinner to all of this. Get all that nasty undercoating off. And then I had to take the Bondo back down, redo it. Mostly bare metal. All the way in the strut towers. I'm sure you've seen me sanding all of this. I'll include the video of that. I'm gonna cut it. Actually take it all the way from this seam, tape it, hard tape it to this line right here. Follow it all the way down, and then just back tape and find some lines in there. Such as this hard line in this trans tunnel. I can tape to this line all the way around, and then down here, so that I'm not leaving blow through. Either or, I don't mind. Seam sealer cleaned up just to make it look a little smoother. New shop. Yeah, some stuff happened and we got moved out of my mom's house. No big deal. And found a decent shop with my buddy Ben. Ended up being a good investment. So, like I said, here we are. I haven't really made any progress on the Mustang. It's been moving. Obviously all my storage, everything behind me. Washer, dryer, couches, hutch, everything. Shoot, I got all the storage. Everything's all boxed up and labeled now. Where's my finger? There it is. Anyways, I've been kind of getting bored waiting on the tube front to come in. Supplier had a little bit of an issue waiting on material. No big deal. I'll start making some cuts, making everything a little easier for when it does show up. So now that I'm finally somewhat settled in, I can start making some decent cuts. So basically what we're gonna do tonight is these lower frame rails, they need to be cut off right at the strut tower. I've already cut the upper apron, but it needs to be cut a little bit more. Then I'm gonna continue that line straight down and then cut right there. There is directions that may or may not be included with the kit, but I had the manufacturer send them to me. So what we've got going on here is this needs to be roughly cut 5.5 inches from this inner seam. That inner seam right there. So all I'll end up doing is grabbing the lip of that. Got my Sharpie right here, dump the cap, measure 5.5. Quick line. Then I'll take that and roughly bring it right up. I don't know about your guys' kits, but you might be able to just find this dimple and make a rough cut there. Eventually, I think it said it will move back to 4 7/8, which I'm assuming is just a little hair lip right here to set the kit into and weld it to. But for now, 5.5 will be more than fine, from what I understand. I've already got this pre-set up, so it's easier to show you guys because I can't do this all one-handed while I'm holding the tripod. But regardless, from this rear fender mounting point, in the pictures that I've seen, you just hook that right there, measure straight out here. It's 11 7/16, which is right before that half inch mark. But right that pinch weld right there. I'm just gonna set the camera down and then I'm going to mark that. Alright, I figured this might be a good stopping point to mention a real good thing. In the videos I did see, pictures, videos in that instruction booklet I looked through, they did have some nice tools that it's worth using. So I went to Walmart, picked up a real cheap laser gauge, just something simple. And I did pick up a digital angle gauge from Tractor Supply. So now that we're all set up, start the saws on it, safety's key. Chair. Yeah, no, it's here after, oh, I'd say 2 months. 2 months I've ordered it, moved out of the house that I was in prior to the shop. I don't live at the shop. And waited for mild steel. Cody had a delay. His stuff was all finicky on his end, which wasn't his fault at all. It just sucked for both of us. And then on top of that, FedEx was screwing around. I had to wait 3 weeks, 2 weeks from when he shipped it. He shipped it beginning of the month. It's now about a week away from the end of the month. So that is that. But it is finally here. So obviously I've already cut into it. So far it looks very nice. Great packaging. Not really sure how much you can see. I'm doing what I can with what I got. Hopefully the train in the background isn't too loud. But I mean, until I start getting into it, there's not much I can say about it besides extremely not heavy. It's mild steel. I'm not exactly sure how thick it was. I don't remember, but it's very well put together, or well cut, well made, whichever you want to say. Either way, great steel. It just feels quality. I mean, I've done tubing before on small stuff, and I've messed with steel enough to understand and appreciate good parts. This piece isn't warped much at all. The take on this is just insane. I'll add a clip in here real quick of just the take work on these and just the pure craftsmanship that went into this. And this is just one piece. I still have quite a bit to go. This is just the other side of that same piece. I don't want to unbox everything until I need it. I'm trying to keep it pretty simple for myself here, so I'm sorry. I will cut most things open, but I don't want to go insane. I'm not entirely sure what these are for. I'm sure these are probably the radiator and intercooler mounts and everything. This, I would assume, would be the lower tie bar. Here, rip it so I can leave it wrapped somewhat. Goes back in there. And in this box we've got, well, not box, in this shrink wrap we have more stuff. Let's see what kind of crap I get. Okay, this is actually like heat shrink wrap, so I'm just gonna leave this, but I know in here this is sleeves for some of the tubes, some solid pieces for, I'm not entirely sure what, some bolts and mounts for whatever you run, intercoolers, oil coolers, radiators obviously. I'm not entirely sure what else you would run on this. Transmission coolers possibly. I don't see that being mounted different from the radiator, but either way, there's the nice Heim joints that I know he makes and assembles or whatever. Thrown in this kit, there is fender brackets, intercooler brackets, and everything such as that. And then these are the lower bars that I was hoping to start tonight, but granted the time, I don't think I'll have time to do that, which is perfectly fine. I'll be here around 4 in the morning, well, 5 in the morning tomorrow. I can always start it then. I just wanted to knock this little unboxing video out of the way. just so you can kind of see what kind of quality we're looking at here and really help you decide what kit you want to buy. For me, it was the fact that it was a not local guy, it was a somewhat local guy per se. And that I wasn't just supporting a company, I was supporting someone. I was supporting their family, their wants, their needs, their wishes, their goals, their career, their livelihood, help pay their bills, their rent and electric. I mean, this stuff isn't cheap to make, I'm sure. So it's just nice to know that instead of supporting a company that already has that and can do that, like let's say Team Z, although I have nothing against any large companies like LMR, CJ Pony Parts, Fox Resto, Team Z, QA1. I don't have anything against any of those people or companies, but when I have the ability to support a small company or a small shop, I would love to, more than anything, because again, to me, I have nothing against those companies, but this is just so much nicer. And if I know it's quality, then I have no issues buying from them. And I did my research, as you should on any part you buy. And these are just very well built. And for the price you pay, it's just unreal what you get, especially the customer service. I mean, he texted me every day, no delay, anything. If I needed anything, I knew I could rely on him to answer within reason. I mean, he's still busy, he's still got a life, but it wasn't like Team Z, or I just keep saying Team Z because I know they make a front end kit. I'm not bashing them more than anyone else. I just know they make a front end kit, so I don't feel dumb. I know that my email won't get lost in their system and that I won't get sent to someone who has no clue about my order, and then all they do is email me back, well, what's your email order number? Or what's your order number? Well, now, yeah, it's not an issue to find, but when they know exactly, he knows exactly what order I have. If I say, man, the shipping's taking long, do you have any idea why? He knows exactly what I'm talking about. He doesn't have to go, well, let me look. Let me see what order you had. Let me see how much. Let me see where it's at. He's like, all right, let me check it out. Regardless, there's that little end rant. Again, amazing TIG work on this lower piece. No warping at all. It's just such a good kit. And then everyone's favorite part, stickers. Again, Codion, what does that say? Codion Independent Motorsports, and then his phone number is right down here. I'll end up probably linking his Facebook, or actually he has a website now. I will end up linking that in the description. So this kit, get that out of the way. These, I'm not entirely sure this would be that side, which you might be able to see, I'm not entirely sure. This slips/welds directly into here. I believe you cut this more, yeah, you cut this more and it genuinely just slips right in that channel. I mean, I have to cut a little more on this side and this side. Again, in the earlier section of the video, you saw I just made general rough cuts. I didn't make exact cuts because I didn't want to cut little. It's a lot easier to cut more off than it is to add, but regardless, I can already tell it's going to fit amazing. So, I guess the plan from here is I'd love to have it in the paint booth at work on Saturday.
Doctors Albrecht, Richards, and Albrecht look forward to improving your family smile.
Are you a business owner looking for assistance tracking your income and expenses or managing your payroll needs? PMS Tax and Accounting Solutions or Codion Motorsports have several options to ease the burden so you can focus on growing your business. Visit our website, pmstax.com, for details on how we can assist you.
Summer is finally here. Make the most of the season and get those to-do items done. Whether it's a new roof, a new landscape, or a new appliance.
All right, so right now I'm installing the tube front, and I'm trying to get these lower bars to fit up on this end and this end of the rail cap. And I'm having a little fitment issue with this one. Has nothing to do with the way Cody made it. It just didn't want to fit in here and sit. I mean, right now, obviously it's movable, but it didn't want to sit in here as much as it did now. The gap was about like that big before, but now it's getting a little better, if not great. And I mean, it's fitting so much better. So I don't know about Team Z or any other kit, but if you do end up going this way, you may or may not have to use hammer and a punch, or I had a screwdriver on hand. And quite literally, in this little notch, this is a little too rounded almost here. On this side, I didn't hit it at all. See how rounded that is in there? So all I did was take this, just hit it and keep working it up so that this wasn't as rounded. It ended up being more notched and straight. I just hit the corner of it. On this side, it did pull the strut tower back a little bit, which ended up straightening it out, which helped me a lot. But again, it's a tube front. You're not too worried about OEM look and everything. Either way, it should be pretty damn good. Let's get back to cutting. All right, so I'm on lunch right now, and I've got this bar pretty much mocked up with how I'm good with it. Got my light already. I've got my ground at the end all ground down and grounded. Clamp holding it in here. This one actually fits pretty darn good. Again, I mean, I'm blaming my car more than Cody. And then it's hard to see. There we go, now it's adjusted. I've got a paint stick in here to shim this out so that the cross reference from that, or well, the cross measurement, I guess, from that strut tower to the edge of there is 43 5/8. So I've checked that. I've checked that it's level. It needs to come up on this end. So what I'm gonna do is tack the top there and then hold it up to where it's level and weld it. I'm just tacking it right now. I'm on lunch and I've got to leave in a couple minutes to go back to work, unfortunately, but as of now, I'm gonna put a couple tacks on there for tonight. Check it again, can never be too sure. Especially now that there's a tag on it, it should hold it. Still just gonna push it up just a little bit and tack that bottom on. It's supposed to be 43 and 5/8, 7/8? Can't remember. 7/8, that's what it was. It's supposed to be 43 and 7/8, but right now it's 43 and a half, so it'll work, but obviously it's not like where it should be, so. Again. Yep. Now she's good. Now what I need to do is check how level it is. I tried to measure it before I started welding, so I had somewhat of an idea. So I didn't have to go too much, because now I gotta go down quite a bit. So I mean, I trust my welds. I just man, this helmet. I trust my welds. I just don't like bending around. All right, so right there. I've got it pretty level. I'm sure I've bent that plate a little bit, but as long as this tube is all level, I'm happy with it. What I've done is I've even taken it this way. My bad. I've even taken it this way just to check that top bubble. And even that looks good. I'm not 100% too, yeah, only one magnet works. I'm not too picky, but I'll tack probably this upper and then that lower corner, making sure it's all level, even though it should be static level right now. I'll check that all. Well, I'll put one tack on it when it's level, and then I'm gonna check, make sure both of them are level together.